Hi, this is going to be a quick run-through of the first 11 lines of the Aeneid. It won't cover everything, but at least you'll be able to check your worksheet and see if you're on the right track. So what I'll do is I'll go linearly through the text, and as there's something that either a participle or one of the lines of agreement that I've marked in little red lines, or if it's a word that agrees with qui, we can highlight that as we go. Okay, so in blue, I'll make marks. Armor virum quae cano, Troia qui primus aboris. Essentially, this just translates icing of arms in a man who first from the shores of Troy. And the first thing we need to do is that we need to highlight primus because it is nominative singular and it agrees with qui. Aboris is, of course, a preposition. Troia goes with it. So, who first from the shores of Troy? Italiam fato profugus, Lavinia que venit litora, which means came to Italy and the Lavinian shores. And then what I want to focus on here is fato profugus. Profugus is adjectival, but you could take it almost like a participle. So if you put this as one of your participles, it's at least an adjective, but it could be a participle. Exiled by fate. The reason it's kind of a participle is that it's not actually from the word fugio, but in English you're thinking exiled would be having been exiled. So I think it's more of an adjective, but if you put it as a participle, I would accept it. Exiled by fate. Came to Italy and the Lavinian shores. Also, that's a U.S. ending, and so we need to highlight it like we did primus as a word that agrees with qui. Okay. Multi leta teris jactatus adulto. We get another nominative, which means that that's going with qui. So ile and also jactatus. Those two are nominative. They both go with the qui. And that is a participle, so we can almost like make a red underline for that one or box it off or something. That's a participle. That's a perfect passive participle. He very much, having been thrown on both land and sea. Nice ablatives of place there. Teres et alto. Vi superum saevae memorum unoni sabiram. There's nothing there that agrees with qui. And there's no participle. However, there's agreement to be done. So in yellow, I will do those. So what we need to do is really look at case number and gender. So we see vi superum. There's nothing that agrees with those. Vi is actually ablative singular. It's kind of an irregular noun. Superum is genitive plural. There are no other genitive plurals in this. And so we go to saevae right here. Saevae. And that is genitive singular. Memoriam is accusative singular. Eunonis is genitive singular. Iram is accusative singular. And this is going to take some getting used to because what you need to do is make them agree, being true to the grammar. So that genitive agrees with that genitive, even though it skips over a word. And then memoriam, being accusative, goes with iram, again, being true to the case number and gender. And what you get is a device called synthesis, where you get the meshing of words. You get genitive, accusative, genitive, accusative. And so that pattern occurs here. Saevae memoriam unoni sabiram. And this is actually a preposition, having been thrown about on land and sea by the force of the gods, on account of the mindful anger of savage Juno. So she's going to be the bad guy in our story of the Aeneid. We have a semicolon, so it's a nice breaking point there. So it looks like we have everything so far. Multa quoquet bello passus dum condurat urbem. So you get here. Passus is a participle, and it also is one of these nominative singular things that agrees with qui. So it is both a participle and a thing that agrees with qui. So this is actually deponent. That means it looks passive, but it's active. having endured many things also, even in war, until he found the city. And he brought the gods into Latium, whence the Latin race, the Alban fathers, and the Atque alta moenia Romae. The reason I had you do this one is so that you could see both Albani Patres, of course. That one's actually pretty easy. But altai means high, and you're thinking it might go with moenia because high walls are a thing. However, altai actually agrees with Romae. Right there. So it's actually the walls of high Rome. It's called a transferred epithet. But this is, again, you say true to your grammar, case number and gender, altai, Romae, genitive singulars in the first declension, and you're good to go. All right. So it looks like we've got all of our words that agree with qui. I'm looking back, did we miss any? And we've got a couple participles, jactatus, we got passus. Profugus might be. If you put that, then that's fine. All right, so here we have Musa, muse. We have to invoke the muse in the beginning of the Aeneid. Mihi causas memora, recall the reasons to me. Quo numine lyso, here we have an ablative absolute, but lyso is a participle, so that's what we need to do there. We need to make that a participle, so let's see if we can underline it in red or box it off. So there's a participle. With what divine will, having been offended, or dolens quidve. So boom, here we have another participle. Regina Deum tot volvere castus insignum pietate virum tot adire labores impulverit. Nice enchantment there. Tantaine animis cae lestibus irae. All right, let's do some agreement stuff here. In the first line, I really just wanted you to see that quo went with numine, which goes with lyso. So those kind of all agree there. So if you kind of made a little M of agreement there, that's correct. That's actually it for that line. The next line, quidve dolens. The dolens goes with Regina, and that's actually it. Insignam pietate virum tot adire labores, and then impulverit, sorry, tantaine animis cae lestibus irae. Okay, so here is one we have to kind of slow down. See the AE here, that nominative plural feminine. Those two agree right there. And then you see the ibus and the is agreeing here. This is, so up here we had synthesis, where you had kind of genitive, accusative in that AB format. Here we have nominative, dative, or ablative, depending on how you took this. But essentially you're getting ABBA, so it's a different kind of word order pattern. It's called chiasmus. And up here you had synthesis. Oops, you had synthesis. These are word order patterns. They're pretty cool. They either help connect things, make lines more memorable. There's a lot of things that they do. Sometimes they make word pictures, which is kind of neat. But really here, you're kind of here linking Juno and anger together, which is kind of cool. You're making those words intertwine.
Hi, Daddy.
Hi, Mimo. And you have the great angers enclosing the celestial minds. Not quite a picture, but like showing the relationship between the two. And just here's your translation all the way through, just so you can check it over. I'll do it very literally.
Dad, what are you talking to?
I'm talking to the iPad. I'm making a video right now, Mimo. All right, are you ready?
Yeah.
All right. I sing of arms and a man who first from the shores of Troy came to Italy and the Lavinian shores, exiled by fate. He, very much having been thrown on both land and sea by the force of the gods, due on account of the mindful anger of savage Juno.
Daddy, why is you work the wand?
And having endured many things, even in war, until he founds the city, and brought the gods to Latium, whence the Latin race, the Alban fathers, and the walls of high Rome. Muse, recall the reasons for me, with what divine will having been offended, or fear, or grieving what the queen of the gods forced the man famous in piety to undergo so many disasters, to approach so many labors. And then the final line, are there such great angers in the celestial minds? Note, you have to gap your sunt here. Are there such great angers in the celestial minds? And that's the beginning of the Aeneid in a nutshell, in under 11 minutes. Thank you for watching.